there's something that Walt couldn't avoid. He lost a buttload of money on it. So Walt needed to make something cheap and fast. The result? Dumbo. It's the story of an elephant who gets humiliated by everyone because of his big ears. With the help of his mouse friend, Timothy, humiliation turns into triumph by using his big ears to fly. The budget for Dumbo was $813,000. They took 18 months to make it, and the running time is 64 minutes. This was an advantage for Walt because his last two films were highly expensive budget-wise. On May 29, 1941, the Disney animator strike occurred. This strike occurred because instead of Disney giving the animators their bonuses like he promised, they would get a lot of layoffs. Some strikers were caricatured as clowns in the movie, who go to hit the big boss for a raise. It lasted 5 weeks, and the studio just wasn't the same anymore. Even though it has a small running time, it is one of the most touching Disney films. The scene where Dumbo's mom holds the young elephant's trunk through the iron bars of her cage is known as one of the most moving scenes in any Disney film. On its release, it was a Disney miracle because Disney earned the double of what Dumbo cost. It won an Academy Award for Original Music Score and nominated for Best Song for Baby Mine. There's a controversy about the crows because people say that they're black stereotypes. The film's historians say that it's bullcrap. The defense for the crows are that they're free spirits who serves nobody. And they're smart too. Dumbo was supposed to be on the cover of December 1941 of Time magazine, but then Pearl Harbor came in and stole his thunder, thus entering the US in World War II and reduced the box office draw. Now let's move on to Walt's favorite film that he made, Bambi, the story of the life of a fawn that grows up with a rabbit called Thumper and a skunk named Flower. And to be honest, that's pretty much it. Started in 1936, Walt wanted to achieve a tricky goal, realism. And it was going to be pretty hard since the characters are all animals. The artist heard lectures from animal experts, made field trips to the LA Zoo, watched nature footage shots in the Forest of Maine, and even studied the movements of 2 fawns that were donated to the studio. Because of the details Walt wanted and trying to take care of the fawns, the film was majorly delayed. It was supposed to be the second film released by Disney, but it was well worth it because the animators remembered the day Walt said for their work,
"Fellas, this stuff is pure gold."
The one scene, however, that is more memorable than anything else is this. It was so powerful, the guy who shot Bambi's mom is at number 20 under the name Man on the AFI's Top 50 Villains in Motion Picture History. And that scene was the initial interest in animal rights for former Beatle Paul McCartney. One problem about Bambi during the time was its release. It was during the time when the US was focusing more on World War II. And forget about Europe because they were screwed back then. On a lighter note, they did earn more money on its 1947 re-release, and the film received great reviews. But after Bambi, that's when the army came. During World War II, they took over the Disney studios. The animators have nothing to do but make World War II shorts. And for films, they're only allowed to do package films. If you don't know what it is, it's a film that consists of several shorts called segments, kinda like Fantasia. The first of those package films was Saludos Amigos. During the end of the Disney's animator strike, Walt Disney took a trip to South America as a goodwill ambassador, along with some of his crew. The countries they've been are Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and Peru. Anyways, back onto Saludos Amigos. The 4 shorts include Lake Titicaca, where Donald Duck is visiting the place with a llama. Then it's Pedro, a small airplane from Chile who replaces his dad to deliver some mail. Then there's El Gaucho Goofy, where Goofy, as an American cowboy, was taken by some Argentinian pampas to learn the ways of the native Gaucho. If you don't know what's a pampa or a Gaucho, let me tell you, you're not alone. Anyways, it was later edited to remove one scene where Goofy was actually smoking. And lastly, there's Aquarelle De Brazil, where Donald is learning about South America and the samba by a new character, Jose Carioca, a Brazilian parrot who has the opposite personality of Donald by being calm and joyful. Today he's not used often than the other Disney characters, as he's one of the few that's an open smoker. It has a running time of 43 minutes, making it the shortest Disney film ever, and surprisingly, it was nominated for 3 Academy Awards? The next package film is more like a sequel to Saludos Amigos, The Three Caballeros. Even though it's called a package film, it actually has a main story. It's about Donald's birthday and he gets 3 presents. One is a 16mm projector showing the cold-blooded penguin, where a penguin goes to Punta Tumbo in Argentina and then misses the winter. Then it shows the flying Bochito, the adventures of an Uruguay kid and a racing donkey with wings. The second gift is a pop-up book where Donald goes in it and ends up in the Brazilian state Bahia. In it, he learns and dances with the local natives and his buddy, Jose. It's pretty much a mix of Lake Titicaca and Aquarelle De Brazil in Saludos Amigos. His third present is actually another new character called Pachitos Pistoles, a Mexican rooster who likes to shoot his guns like Yosemite Sam. They learn about Las Posadas, the children's progression before Christmas, how they find friendly shelter, and the breaking of the piñata. Then the guys go to Mexico, they learn some stuff, and then Donald chases some girls. Then it goes to this weird hallucination scene with Donald and singer Aurora Miranda that reminds me of the pink elephants from Dumbo. The scenes would often mix with live action and animation, something that Walt hadn't done since the Alice comedies of the 20s. On April 2007, the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot in Walt Disney World got revamped into the Grand Fiesta Tour starring the Three Caballeros, which in a way is like a sequel, but in a Disney attraction. And the film influenced some hotels in the resort, like Coronado Springs. In 1946, they released Make Mine Music, the first post-war Disney film. Now, just to tell you in advance, I really couldn't find any behind-the-scenes facts about this film. There might be a few, but not much. So here are the 10 segments. The first one is the Martins and the Coys, where 2 families kill each other, except for Henry Coy and Grace Martin. They fall in love, get married, and then they fight each other again. The whole segment was sung by famous radio group, The King's Men. Then it's Blue Bayou, where we see a crane doing crane things. In my opinion, it's one of the most beautiful segments of the film. One of the reasons is that it was originally intended to replace the deleted Clair de Lune segment in Fantasia. Then it's All the Cats Join In, where a pencil draws some animated 40s kids dancing to malt shop music. The segment Without You is pretty much Andy Russell singing about being single sucks. Amen to that. Then it's the famous Casey and the Bat, the famous poem about a cocky baseball player named Mighty Casey who loses his touch and now sucks at baseball. Then it's 2 silhouettes, which is pretty much 2 live-action silhouettes dancing in an animated background, nothing special. Another famous one is Peter and a Wolf, an adaptation of Prokofiev's composition of a Russian boy trying to catch a wolf. After You've Gone is a musical cartoon fantasy with living instruments dancing around. Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet tells the romantic story of hats. Yeah, I really don't get this. Finally, is The Whale Who Wanted to Sing at the Met, where a whale who swallowed an opera singer dreams about singing at the opera. Then he wakes up, gets harpooned, and dies. The end.